Happy new moon in Taurus. I normally would just go live on TikTok, but since I'm not really on there anymore, I had to go live here on YouTube because I just had so many downloads come through and I wanted to just get it on video so that I won't forget since it's so late. But oh my God, it is wild to me the timing of everything. And let me explain. I've been going through like a really rough period or transition in trying to like figure out what the next thing is going to be for me. And there's been a lot of like grieving that needed to happen. And I'm the kind of person that just doesn't like to feel grief. Um, you know, comment below if you're also like that. But it's been really difficult because there was just a lot of stuff that had to get broken down, that had to get addressed, that had to get felt, that had to get whatever. And I was like, this is not fun. I do not like this. This is horrible. We need to like move on. And I was just like, what's the answer? What's the solution? How do I get there? Like, just tell me what to do and like, let's just do it because like, I don't want to deal with this nonsense. And like, I had no choices. Obviously, you just got to move forward. So I was like, okay, I'll just, I got the, download or the awesome idea to create like a cosmopolitan worthy spiritual magazine. Um, And so then I turned my Substack into the Oracle edit, right? And I just finished my first issue. So there's like 8 posts and I was like that's pretty awesome. And so now we're just starting on this new moon tonight, like the next issue, right? And so what was crazy was the first issue was about identity upgrades, but then this coming up issue is all about karmic contracts. Oh, thank you. They're really light. These are like my chill glasses. I have like CEO boss babe glasses, but these are my chill ones, but thanks. Um, so hold on a second. I digress because this is really crazy, okay? So I was like using this like Cosmo Worthy magazine to like, kind of explain like this is how you get through this is how you get through spiritual awakenings and like, sharing all this wisdom that I've learned over the years about being psychic and all that stuff. Um and hi everyone. Hi Nicole. Hi Willa. Hi Danya. Um and I was just sitting there like sorry, I'm like let me explain this because these downloads that are coming through tonight are just so crazy and I need to share. So, because I got this one day got this download to create this like magazine, so I did it, right? So last month was all about identity upgrades. And if you want to go and if you want to go and read them, you can. They're on my Substack. The link is in my bio here on YouTube. And or it's called the Oracle Edit. Anyway, so then I got I was like, yeah, I'm leveling up my identity, right? It's like we're coming into this new phase of life and like, things are crumbling around. The world is like totally crazy. And it's like, what is going to be the new shift? And a lot of the downloads that I had been getting while I was on TikTok, but then now is like, who's going to be on the new earth? Like, who is going to like, you know what I mean? Like change the way that society is operating so that we all can live in like, happily ever after, like harmoniously, peacefully together. And I feel like, you know, then this month I was like, okay, once you step into that sovereign self, your true self, not the version of you who's in fear, not the version of you who's in lack, not the version of you who, you know, is is just not, believes that they're not worthy, but the version of you who like knows that you have it all, that knows that you're powerful, that knows that you're kind, that knows that you have gifts, that knows that you are here and you were born to do something special and important. And you need to go do it, right? You need to share your gifts and your talents and your joy and your light with the world. And so, like, then this month's issue is all about karmic contracts. And I'm just sitting here like pulling my hair out. I had a breakdown in the car today because I got really fucking triggered and by my mom, and it's one of my karmic contracts that I have to try and like fix this lifetime. Yay, joy. So if you want to talk about mother wounds, I've got you. But anyway, I like broke down in my car. I like called my friend and I was like crying for like 15 minutes. And then I was like, okay, great. Well, now that's done. And then like, oh, the bottle's empty. We can just like stuff everything down again. I'm like, that's not the lesson. What's the actual lesson? And so it was so funny because I couldn't even click into like my next level self or my full like sovereign self until I finished this stupid karmic lesson. And so today everything finally went well and I think I actually completed the lesson cuz I changed my behavior and like I was like relaxing and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh my god, why am I trying to be this authority figure?" Right? Well, technically it's because my Chinese astrology birth chart shows that being an authority figure is what actually will bring me more consistent wealth than like being a performer, a content creator, an influencer and like using like attention. And so I was like, "Okay, but it was making me miserable, right? Like, I don't wanna just be a teacher, that's just not who I am. I know how to teach and coach people, I've been doing it for, like, my whole life, but, you know, so then I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Why don't I use my second Substack that I was originally gonna call it is called The Pretty Prophet?" Instead of that, I was like, "Why don't I make it, like, My Confessions of a Primordial Princess?" And then so this is the best part. Then all of a sudden, like my soul is starting to leap for joy because that's what I did on TikTok all the time. I just like channeled messages and I did tarot and all of that stuff, right? Like, because I'm psychic. So I was like, Confessions of a Primordial Princess will be like where I'm the oracle and people can come to hear the channel downloads and guidance and like whatever it is that comes through. And I'm just going to post it when I'm going to post it when the downloads come. Like it is what it is. And so that feels like such a weight off my shoulders because then I can creatively express myself. I can share like my fantasy book that's based on some of these downloads that I have been getting. And then the Oracle edit is for like the people who are ready to like actually take action and become fully sovereign and free. But the interesting thing, turning this back around to like what can you get out of this whole thing that I'm talking about, is the fact that like I just learned this for myself. I was like, well, why didn't I get this idea sooner? Why couldn't they have told me to do this before? And I would have been much happier. And I didn't have to go through all of this garbage for however many months it's been. And it was like, oh, well, because you needed to do your own audit of your soul and fix those things and complete those contracts. And then when you do, then the solution can come. And then it's so like instantaneously easy to embody the identity of the version of you that is sovereign and wealthy and motherfucking free. That's how that works. Isn't that wild? I was sitting there and I was like, and it's so frustrating, right? But people with a double mission, you have to go through that first and then like the mission will take off, you know? But I do believe that they will shove you in the right direction if you're like not going there. And I think that's a thing that is like very, very reassuring because sometimes I haven't gotten the full answer, but I'm like fate versus free will, right? If I really have free will and I can do whatever I want whenever I want, and it's what I get is the culmination of my actions, right? Action, reaction, law of physics, and, blah, blah. Then how come I did not get this fucking realization until the new moon in Taurus when you're starting something new? Where I have in my Vedic chart, Taurus is in my eighth house, going deep within and like really resurrecting, Phoenix rising from the ashes and like grounding it because Taurus is an earth element. And it's all about, like, also the physical, the material, the luxury, the home, feeling safe and satisfied. What does that look like for you? And it's like, it doesn't come quick. It's not like a fast cash grab. This is like Taurus is slow. It's a fucking bull. So it's like, what 3 goals would you want to have would you want to be able to achieve by the end of the year or like the next 6 months? Drop it in the chat. What 3 goals, you can write 1 in the chat, but find 3. Don't find more than 3. And just focus on those 3 goals. And I guarantee you, if you do the tilling of the soil and watering it, the seeds and blah, blah, you will have reached those goals in 6 months. And that's kind of exciting. So I'm just like, I know for me, like I did one on wealth and I did one on health and I did one on like creativity. Like I want to finish my book 1 of my fantasy book series in the next 6 months. That sounds really exciting to me. You see what I'm saying? And, like, when you follow that, that is what inevitably brings you the money and the good opportunities and all the things, even in the state of the world that we're living in right now. That's how you hack the matrix. That's how you, like, flip the code and get whatever you want whenever you want. But you have to finish those karmic contracts and you have to like wrap up those lessons and really integrate them and understand them because if you don't, it's literally virtually almost always say almost impossible to embody the version of you that's truly free because you have core beliefs, you have core programming that states that you're weak or you're not good enough or that you were born to struggle or that you could never get whatever it is that you want. People like you don't get those things. And it all has to change. And it was funny because I was talking with one of my friends and he was like, well, he didn't say this, but I just heard it, right? Because it's so funny. I feel like my friends forget that I'm psychic, but it's fine. So I just heard in his head, he's just like, I'm afraid that like, because he's hyper aware, he's so intelligent, but he's like, "I'm afraid to change my ways because then maybe I won't, like, matter, like, I won't be helping people, I won't be, like, making a difference." And I'm like, "You having a better boundary doesn't change who the fuck you are in a negative way, like, you still gonna help people and, like, have boundaries, you know?" And it's hard, especially when you're such an empath, but at the end of the day, if that's something that you really want, you know sorry, I love I'm, like, watching okay. So, I'm watching, Netflix on my ceiling, but, Yeah. Once you finish learning your karmic lesson, then you can really embody this upgraded version of who you are. And that's so exciting. And I feel like if you set those intentions tonight or tomorrow or whatever within like 2 days of the so basically by Monday, you'll be so good. You'll be so good. And it's also really about honoring yourself, what you truly want, what your soul is craving, that creativity, that joy, that like unadulterated like time to just play, whatever that looks like to you. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Um, Go subscribe to my Substack. Um, I'm really freaking excited. I cannot believe that all clicked together. It's been a crazy couple of days. So I think I'm probably going to be doing random videos now. But anyway, does anyone have any questions before I go? Happy new moon. Like, that's crazy. That's so crazy. Yeah, does anyone have any questions? If not, then I shall go. But set those 3 goals and let me know what they are. If you want, you can always comment on the replay. Okay, no questions? All right. I love you all so much. The universe loves you. Your spirit guides have got your back. You're divinely directed and protected. And I love you.